ODM. Because you'll realize that I'm not the only person that has left ODM in the last 6 or so months. Actually, it has been continual hemorrhage. Numbers upon numbers have left that party, but no one talks about them.
But numbers have also joined support.
No, I'm not interested in whoever has joined. I'm interested in those who have left, because I'm among those who have left. But no one talks about them. No one follows them around. These issues you mentioned at the Political Parties Tribunal, for me, they don't even exist. They don't exist because, and I'm talking as a lawyer. By the way, you're not just talking to a politician.
Right.
You're talking to a lawyer of international repute. If someone makes a legitimate application in any tribunal or in any court of law, the basic requirement upon making the application is to serve the subject of your application. No one has ever served me. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, all these applications you refer to do not exist.
You're saying you do not believe that you are formally before the political party tribunal?
I have never appeared before the political party tribunal. You have never appeared before the tribunal,
and nobody from the tribunal has
served me with any application. What is happening, Anne, and this needs to be put in context. What is happening is just cheap politics. Some people are being used to make or to create the impression that my new party has issues. But the truth is that my new party has absolutely no issues.
Are those people including your Secretary General, David McCarley?
I would say the former Secretary General.
The former Secretary General.
What I know that David McCarley is no longer a member of Labour Party. David McCarley is no longer an official of Labour Party.
And why is that?
The party made a decision through its organs to relieve him of his duties as Secretary General. And because the party believed he was being used by forces that were out to undermine the party. And the party believes even today that these little childish juvenile games going on at because they are games really, there's nothing serious here. These are games that are being choreographed by David McCarley. Definitely, and we have very good reasons to believe, so at the behest of ODM, who are pulling the strings, they give the lawyers, they pay the little money.
You think the Political Parties Tribunal has been compromised?
I'm not saying the Political Parties Tribunal has been compromised. I'm saying that the Political Parties Tribunal is being used as an instrument in these little games being played.
Do you believe in the authority of the Political Parties Tribunal?
Absolutely. And if today anybody were to work to me, even right now, and let the whole world know that I'm in studio right now at the Citizen Studios with you, if someone were to work here today and served me with papers for a matter before the tribunal, I would definitely take that matter seriously.
Let me follow that up, because you've said you do believe in the authority of the Political Parties Tribunal. You're disputing the fact that you have not been served. Nonetheless, this tribunal on the 17th of March barred you from holding yourself or representing yourself as a member of the Labour Party of Kenya. So are you not then in contravention of that decision of a body whose authority you say you...
And I'm a lawyer, Anne. And
nonetheless,
in law we say procedure is the handmaiden of substance. Among the key elements of procedure is that if you file a complaint against me, if you get any orders from the tribunal or from a court of law, then you are duty bound to bring that to my attention. You don't bring it to my attention through Facebook or through social media forum, or through Twitter. There is a procedure laid out in the law on how you ought to serve the subject of your application. And what I'm telling you that I'm not aware, I do not even believe these things exist. What I know is that these are characters who are playing petty politics. There has been an attempt to create the impression that I'm not a member of Labour Party. I want to make it absolutely clear here that if you were to walk into the offices of the Registrar of Political Parties, you'll find that Ababu Namwamba is member number LP001 of Labour Party.
LP001?
Yes.
Founding member, is it?
Because maybe the register of the party has been restructured, renewed, in line with the new regulations of the IEBC and the Register of Political Parties. And I am proudly a holder of that registration number. And there has also been an argument that I'm still a member of ODM. May it also be made clear, for the avoidance of doubt, that I ceased being a member of ODM 6 months ago. I'm not a member of ODM. Formally. I do not miss being a member of ODM. As I've already told you, I now realize that I was not only a key member of the first 11, I'm also realizing that I've missed very much, and that's why.
What gives you the impression that they miss you? Because the feeling is that you betrayed them.
How? They betrayed me. I did not kick boxes of elections at Kasarani. I did not hire men in black to sabotage a party election that I was poised to win. That for me was not just a betrayal of me. It was a betrayal of everything the party stands for. For a party to call an election and then go ahead to sabotage that election, what can be worse betrayal than that? And
yet you still ended up with significant key positions in the party. Why not?
Because I thought I could give the party another chance. But upon giving the party another chance, they undermined every little step I took, every major initiative I took.
Such as?
I tried to initiate something called Ecclesia ID to rally people to get identity cards and register massively as voters, especially in the strongholds of the party. They sabotaged that move. I attempted to restructure the internal processes in the party. I even attempted to get a new elections board in place, because the current elections board, headed by Judy Pareno, is just a corrupt platform.
Why do you feel you're a man worth sabotaging? Why would ODM, a party that is respected, one of the biggest parties in the country, a party with legacy behind it, go out of its way to ruin its quote-unquote good name?
Because I represented change. I represented a challenge to the status quo. I took a position, for instance, that the party cannot be repeating the same mistake of messing up its nominations. That any time we have nomination, like we're preparing to go to nominations, it is war. Look at what happened in Mathare the other day between Elizabeth Ongoro and TJ Kajwang. Already someone is lying in the mortuary before we even get to nominations. And I represented that voice that told the party, wait a minute. If you continue doing the same thing and expect different results, you are actually mad.
Who in the party didn't want to hear that? Is it Raila Odinga?
The forces of status quo, and if you're a father in the household, you take responsibility for what goes on in the household.
So it is Raila Odinga's force that reform isn't coming to ODM?
Reform has been resisted because I believe the party is held hostage by those who drive the party. And the drivers of the party include the party leader. Today I'm the leader of Labour Party. Anything going on in Labour Party, ultimately I have to take responsibility as the leader of Labour Party. And let me just conclude by saying that you talk about betrayal. This is a party that manufactured a scandal when I was the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, and manufactured a scandal through a fellow called Omondi Anyanga. Omondi Anyanga is a member of parliament for Nyatike, and manufactured a scandal against me, Secretary General of the party, chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, and manufacture a scandal with the sole intention of removing me from the committee so that they would bring in their preferred person to chair the committee. Who does that? And they were doing this to a man they had baptized general. I was general. There is nobody in ODM that has ever been given that title. And so yes, I can sit here with confidence and say the party betrayed me, the party treated me badly, but the beauty of it all is that is all in the past now.
Let's talk about what you were, because you were general, and those really were your days in the spotlight, bathing in the sunlight, if you would like, in terms of your own political prowess or glory. Ababu Namwamba was a well-known household name, and when you would call a presser, we expected big things from you. Some would say your political fortunes have dwindled since then, to the introduction of Labour Party of Kenya and having to find yourself running in the Jubilee direction, a government, an administration which you vehemently opposed. What changed so much?
Absolutely nothing has changed.
What's dimmed your light?
Nothing has changed, and my lights are very bright. That's why I'm seated here with you, Anne. If my lights were dimmed, you wouldn't be having me on.
I interview all sorts
now. Come on. I certainly do not consider myself. In fact, I consider myself to be in a better place, politically speaking. I was a member of a first 11 in a team that was disorganized, disjointed, a team that sabotaged its own chances, a team that was playing pretty much a game that was headed nowhere. Ernst Hemingway used to call it motion with no action. That is the team I belonged to. I exited that team. I'm now in a team where I'm captain of the team, It's a team where we appreciate each other, we respect each other. No chaos, no violence, no disorder, and we know where we're headed.
Or a one-man show?
No, absolutely not. I have a fantastic team.
Some chaos, you had to kick out David McCarley?
That is not chaos, that is procedure. If we follow the procedure, the National Executive Committee of the party met, they discussed the matter, and they made a decision.
Some would say no tolerance.
Oh, absolutely not. It's not a question of tolerance. It's just a question of the party doing what is in its best interest. And what I believe is that if you reach a point where you feel that your beliefs are not in tandem with the party you belong to, you walk out. That's what I did in ODM.
Is what is in LPK's best interests equal to what is in Ababu Namwamba's best interests?
Ultimately, what is more important is what is the best interest of the party. And as a leader of the party, I must always be persuaded by what is in the best interest of the party. And that's why you mentioned the Jubilee. You mentioned support for Uhuru Kenyatta. I also needed to clarify the point that, number one, Labour Party is not a part of Jubilee. Labour Party is an independent party. And for that reason, Labour Party is putting up candidates for all positions across the country except the presidency. Number two, Labour Party has received a petition from our Aspirants Assembly, our Women Congress, and our Youth Congress, key organs of the party, petitioning the National Executive Committee to consider supporting the re-election of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And the reasons are two. Number one, these organs are saying the party does not have a presidential candidate in this election, in which case the party should consider supporting one among those who have declared interest in the presidency. Number two, the organs are saying, looking at all the other candidates that have expressed interest, they say they believe the best in the park is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And
what do you believe?
The party, let me first of all walk you up to the end, and then I'll tell you what I believe. The party National Executive Committee, having received that petition, they considered it accepted as a petition. They have then convened the National Delegates Convention, which is the highest decision-making organ of the party. This convention will be held next month, April, where this petition will be placed before now all the delegates of the party drawn from across the country. That petition is to be considered for approval. And if that decision is approved by the National Delegates Congress of the party, it will be a decision to support Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta as a person, as presidential candidate, and not Jubilee as a party. That needs to be very clear. In Budalangi, for instance, where I'll be defending my seat, I'll be running against a Jubilee candidate for that seat. Elsewhere, our candidates in other parts of my Secretary General, Peter Olemusei, is running against a Jubilee candidate in Kajiado North and many other places. And so, our partnership is not with the Jubilee Party. Our partnership would be only to the extent of supporting the re-election of Uhuru Kenyatta.
All right. Having said that, though, with your support of President, or with the party support of President Kenyatta, how do you feel about that, to the extent that this is a man whose administration, as I said earlier, you vehemently oppose?
Can I ask you a question?
What has changed so significantly in how President Kenyatta is running the country from the time you were an ODM member to the time you went to Jubilee? Or is this just moving for political convenience?
And I've not moved to Jubilee. I'm the leader of Labour Party.
Rather moving to support. You moved to Labour Party and now are in support of President Kenyatta.
First of all, I want to tell you that politics is very dynamic. Today, when I see Kalonzo Musyoka side by side with Raila Odinga, I laugh. And I remember those days when even little things like protocol, pecking order, who would speak after Kibaki, would bring such issues. I remember I would sit in that 10th Parliament, okay? And if Kalonzo Musyoka was already seated in the House, Raila would walk in, and if he saw Kalonzo, he would just turn around and go sit on the opposite side. What is happening today? I would remember what Wetangula would speak about Raila Odinga when he was Minister of Foreign Affairs for Kibaki. I would remember the exchanges between Musalia Mudavadi as UDF presidential candidate and Raila Odinga as co-candidate.
Acceptable political practice.
What I'm saying is that in politics, no permanent friends, no permanent enemies.
And also no permanent values?
No. Values do exist. If you hold values which you believe can move in tandem with a particular person or with a particular political formation, you can move in that direction. But let me come back to Uhuru Kenyatta. Why would I consider to support Uhuru Kenyatta? Yet, first of all, the decision to support Uhuru Kenyatta for me as a Labour Party is subject to that ratification, as I've said, at our NDC next month. But in 2013, I was on the front line campaigning for Raila Odinga.
Right. All
over this country. And I campaigned for him so hard. Because for me, I don't know how to do things half-half. I do things 100%. And I believed that we offered something better for this country at that time. Uhuru won the elections. He's been president for the last 4 years. We've been able to observe his performance, his demeanor. And for me, politics is about service. Politics is about transformation. Talking about Budalangi, for instance, the constituency I represent, because first and foremost, we may talk Labour, we may talk ODM or whatever. At the end of the day, the people who matter to me most are the people who sent me to represent them, and the people of Budalangi. I can confidently look in the eyes of the people of Budalangi and say, Uhuru has been able to listen to some of their concerns and has been able to fix them. Today I've just talked about capsizing. River Nzoia in Budalangi has been one of the biggest challenges in that constituency since time immemorial. And one of the biggest challenges has simply been to have a bridge across that river. Every president in this country has been at that river and promised a bridge. 2 years ago, a boat capsized at that same point where the bridge is supposed to be constructed. We invited President Uhuru Kenyatta. He came. He condoled with the families of the 9 people who died. He made a commitment to have a bridge constructed at that spot. As I speak to you right now, Anne, a bridge is almost complete. And in the next 1 or 2 months, I expect the president to come to open that bridge. For me, that is delivery. That is listening to a cry of a people and doing something about it. Right. Now, if that is not performance, then I don't know what performance is.
All right.
So people have reasons why they make certain decisions. And on account of performance, we can say that the people of Budalangi, for instance, will have a reason why they would want to support Uhuru Kenyatta.
So hold that thought, because after this I want us to talk about your time in ODM, what you know about them now having exited, and what you think is happening in terms of ODM NASA politics. So stay with me. Ababu Namwamba, the Budalangi Member of Parliament, we're talking to him this hour on Citizen Extra. But here's another report that we are watching for you. Kenya Power expected to shed light this morning on alleged fictitious numbers it has been releasing on the last mile connections. Let's now cross over to that